for you to be a head coach before you're 40 in your home state, not in your home state, but I mean the state in which everybody regards you as kind of one of their own. What's this like for you?
Well, it's obviously it's a dream come true. To be able to do it at Houston specifically, though, is the ultimate for me. Growing up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but coaching in the state of Texas, I've always watched this program from afar. I've always admired this program, the city, the university, the professional opportunities that, student athletes have. It's got everything. It's got everything you need to be successful. It's got a rabid fan base. It's got a commitment from the administration, from the president, Chairman Petito, to the other board of regents, to the people who fill the stadium. So it's a highly coveted job. I think that's why you heard some of the names that were mentioned for this job apply for this job.
Yeah, okay, there's a bunch I want to get to about that. What's that like for you, though? I mean, look, I know you didn't think they'd just kind of give it to you, but, hey, I've been here and we're good, and, why would you screw this thing up? What's it like to have to go through the process and have all of these other guys throw their hat into the ring? For you who have been there, who have been part of this effort, this resurgence with Tom Herman, what's it like to have to suddenly fight for a job that, I don't know, it would have seemed like an easy solution if the second he left, they gave you the job right away?
Well, I think that's something that probably Todd Orlando and I felt, down in our hearts in terms of, hey, we've worked really hard to have a crack at this job. Yet at the same time, this is a highly competitive business, and maybe what's best for Todd Orlando and what's best for Major Applewhite and best what's, for the University of Houston. So I understand having to go out and recruit and interview other prospects for the job. I mean, that's part of the deal. It's, and as an athlete, you don't want anything given to you, or a coach. So I understand the process. I get it.
Major Applewhite joining us in the Doug Gottlieb Show on CBS Sports Radio. I've pointed out to other people that while there are other jobs that are open, I'm not sure that there are that many that are a better job than Houston. And here's kind of my perspective on it is, like everybody knows, you can get in your car and recruit your entire team. Can't do that at most any other school in the league. Like, your job is the best job in your league. That's one of the reasons that so many have been able to be successful there. And you have a commitment to winning with all the facilities upgrades. Is that what you've heard from other coaches? Like, hey, look, there's some Power 5 jobs that aren't as good a job as your job.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's why you've seen people, leave multi-year contracts as offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators and apply for this job. There are built-in advantages. And one of them is, like you said, all the prospects in your own backyard, the coaching in the state of Texas, high school football. So, a lot of people say, well, you're getting already a finished product. There's not a high ceiling for this player. Okay, so what? So I'm getting a great player. So I think that's kind of a myth. Our athletes in this town and across the state are coached really well. High school's jobs do a great job with them. There's so many things that have to do with our university and our city that I think are benefit. Houston's a great city in itself, and you went to college in a college town. What are the job opportunities there when you get done, as opposed to a city like Houston?
Yeah.
What are the job opportunities in some of these small town college USA type towns that kids are like, you know what? I've started my career here. Everybody knows me in the city of Houston. I was a superstar 5A, 6A football player. Now I can go 15 minutes or 20 miles down the road, and I can go play at the University of Houston, have an opportunity to play in a New Year's Day Bowl, win conference, maybe make all conference for a couple of years, and then everybody knows me in the community. So I've spent 8 years creating my story through high school and college, and now it's time to do what I came to college for, is create some earning power and get my name out there and network and have a life after football, and have a real shot at it instead of some of the guys that you and I know, Doug, that we played with that, kind of get chewed up and spit out. And I think that a lot of guys figure it out, and they understand, if I go keep my nose clean, I play great football there and win championships, I'm going to run into a lot of people. There's a lot of oil and gas in this town. There's a lot of medical field in this town. There's a lot of technology in this town. There's a lot of job opportunities. So, if the NFL thing doesn't work out, and I'm one of those people that have a 2-year average lifespan in the NFL, I've done a hell of a job with my name and my academics and creating networks, and I can create a quality life for my family.
Isn't it amazing, though?
Smart enough to get that.
Like, all the things you're saying is like the reality of it, but you talk to so many of these people that and they don't understand the value of making a name for yourself and playing college football. Like, that's kind of what it's about, right? Like look,
right.
you do this and you're good at it, but because who you were at Texas and what you've done afterwards, like, if you want to go into medical sales or if you want to go into business into oil and gas, like you can go do that, right? Like that's the whole benefit
Absolutely.
to it.
Well, that's this is my opinion on it, Doug. Is just that's why you go to college. I mean, you can get a degree online right now. I mean, you can go online, you can stay on your mom's couch, and you can get a degree. You go to college to network and create earning power. That's why you go to college, to meet people, to network, to get into the right circles, and that's why you go attend a university. And I just think that people who understand that and also play football, that they get it. You know, there's a lot of guys picking universities because of uniform combinations and just silly things that are just out of this world that don't make sense. So, that's the way our staff is going to recruit. We're going to talk about the 40 years after the deal, not the 4 years while you're in it.
Okay, so here's a couple of questions I've always want to ask you. You've worked for some really, really good people, right? I mean, what is the thing, like Mack Brown, what is the thing you can take from both playing for and working for Mack Brown that you're going to put into place as part of your program?
Coach Brown genuinely cares about his coaches. He genuinely cares about his players. He's very respectful of your time as a coach and as a player. He gives you tremendous, I don't want to say leeway, but he gives you freedom to do your job on the offensive, defensive side of the ball. He lets you have your own personality as a player. Now, there's a team concept that all fits underneath. And I think he just does a great job of pulling people together. So much of athletics is about morale, and he does an outstanding job with just keeping morale high in the building. And there's no one that I've been around in terms of the recruiting aspect of it that can hit home with a message as to why you should be at a certain place. And, he really lays it out for families. He kind of cuts through all the bull and gets straight to, now why should your son, leave the state of Texas? Or, if this is a degree program that your son's really interested in and we're second in the country, why are we having this conversation now? I mean, he gets it and he can communicate on that level. And I think he can communicate on that level because he really cares. I think that's one thing that separates him from a lot of coaches.